everybody. Welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm Brian Stanley. I like to use my hands when I talk. I don't know why, but it is the Coaches Show again. I'm Brian Stanley. This is David Schuster hanging out with me. And Coach, you're 3-1 in this season, this young season, as we are gearing up in the Mountain League, 1-0 in the very young Mountain League season, with a win over the Santa Ynez Pirates, 41-6. Started out with a Pirates score late in the first quarter, and then you put up 41, or not you, but your squad put up 41 unanswered points for the victory. Talk about that, the win, and how that all took place for you.
Yeah, it was a great Thursday night. Just very, very pleased with the team's performance. The first quarter I felt was, it was a short week. There were a lot of school events that were taking place. We sort of anticipated it might be a slow start in the first quarter, and so we really tried to combat that with a number of things that we tried to plan out. I don't know how well it worked. We did start slow. I didn't like how we started the game. I thought we were sloppy in a number of areas. Obviously, we turned the ball over. Had a couple of fumbled snaps, and kind of gave them great field position to start off the game. And you never want to do that. So, but I was very pleased with everyone kind of bouncing back. The second quarter started, everyone sort of settled in, got in a groove, and then we kind of started, taking care of things the way we wanted to. I felt defense played a great game. Santa Ynez stresses the defense in very different ways. It's been, 2 straight weeks with Bishop Diego and Aptos of, very, ground heavy, pound the football, very diverse attacks on the ground, very hard to stop. And then out of nowhere, now you got to deal with Santa Ynez and this wide open, spread RPO attack. You got to deal with zone and counter. It's a different look. It stresses the defense differently, and I was really happy with how the defense handled that. And then offensively, it's kind of like, all right, like we've just gotten progressively better every week, and it felt like, all right, this is the first time all year we finally have started to put the whole offense together a little bit. So still a lot of room for improvement with offense, but really happy with kind of how that all came together, and excited to try to do it again this Friday.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the move to the sophomore quarterback, Thomas Glenn, and how that's kind of become a pattern within Royals football of finding a solid sophomore quarterback and developing them through the process of 3 years. And we're starting to see that development with Ronnie Kardashian as the next lead back, as Drew Harrigan is a senior, still producing great numbers, but we're seeing Ronnie Kardashian is starting to break out of his shell and put up some big numbers with few carries, 5 carries for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Pirates. Talk about his performance and just his breakout moment this last week.
Yeah, Ronnie, really, really proud of Ronnie, man. That kid he's a fearless competitor. He's got a warrior spirit. He's very competitive, great burst. Again, I mean, he operates with a fearless mentality, man. That kid will go do anything we need him to do. And he's athletically very gifted. And he's proven himself over time to be a kid that he can be relied on. His work ethic is unmatched. His standard for success and everyone else's success, he's the type of kid that you can see in a couple of years he's going to be a major team leader. But it makes sense, his older brother was George Kardashian, who, has a storied history with us, and then his cousin is Dalton Strauss, and his dad was Aaron Kardashian, who, did some incredible things here as well. So there's a deep family legacy that he's been kind of holding up, and he's been doing an amazing job just kind of carrying on the family name and doing some special things on the field. And so we've kind of been waiting. He had a great game against Bakersfield Christian, but I think everyone's been sort of waiting for, like, all right, one of these games, everyone's going to really start to see what Ronnie's all about. And So we were really excited to see that kind of take place Thursday night. Felt like we needed it. We needed other kids to start producing, and we definitely need that as the season progresses. It can't be all Drew. We need Chase Untall, we need Luke Terry, we need Ronnie, we need a number of kids kind of producing and doing some special things. So to see Ronnie have that moment was pretty cool.
And when we talk about producing out of the backfield on the offense, 371 yards rushing. Ronnie Kardashian, 122 yards. Drew Harrigan finishing with 121 yards, 1 touchdown. Quarterback Thomas Glenn, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Receiver Luke Terry on a reverse. We need to talk about that play, Coach. 43 yards on that reverse, 1 touchdown on that reverse. And then Gabe Rodriguez, we're also going to talk about with that 1-yard fullback touchdown, total 5 yards out of the backfield. First, Coach, let's talk about that reverse and how that played out for your squad.
There's a number of counter plays that we have that when the defense is showing a certain tendency towards certain things that we do on our offense, then there's a number of them that we have, and this was one of them. And our little crisscross play, and so the look was there. I felt like there were a number of things that I won't get into. I'll just say that the look was very positive for us, and so it felt like the right time to call it. Still didn't think we executed it very, very well, but it worked enough that and the good news is Luke Terry doesn't need a whole lot, and he's gone. So
like a little rocket.
He is, yeah. He's power boost a little bit. So very, very pleased with him and the way he performed and played, and he continues to be a great leader, and he performs at a high level when we need him to. And so it was very happy with that play.
And then Gabe Rodriguez scoring from the fullback position, normally a lineman. What was the decision to put Rodriguez in at fullback, and allowing him to get the rock and try to punch it in for the score? Because I gotta say that Steven and I celebrated that touchdown. We don't normally personally celebrate, but we celebrated that one personally.
Yeah. It's a package that we put together. It's no secret we like power football, and you gotta have some dudes at tight end, at fullback, at offensive line. You gotta have a dude at running back. And so we've done this in the past with a bunch of other guys. We did this with Taco. Taco scored a touchdown at Morro Bay a couple of years ago. There's power sets that we have where we put some of the big boys in the backfield because it gives us a more diverse look and allows us to try to do some other things in the backfield. And so that's a look that we really like. We'll continue to use it. It's not something that's going away anytime soon. And we're going to continue to develop that out. And the idea of Gabe at fullback is something that we're really big fans of. And so I would not expect to see that disappear. I think that's a package that'll probably grow as the year goes on.
Well, we went down the gauntlet of performers on Thursday's night's win over the Pirates, and it's time to reveal again the player of the game presented by Farmers Insurance agent Jennifer White, and that is Ronnie Kardashian for his performance, 2 touchdowns, 122 yards on 5 carries. A tremendous performance by Ronnie Kardashian on Thursday night.
Yeah, no, Ronnie did great, and there's another kid that I'll kind of give a little shout out to that I was deeply, deeply pleased with, and that's Carter Moreau. He played corner for us in the game. It was clear that but as the game progressed, that I think Santa Ynez, it was his first real varsity game, first game starting really, and I think Santa Ynez tried to kind of pick on him a little bit, and which is not a bad strategy in terms of the idea of that's a new kid. let's test him out and let's see what he's about. The problem is Carter's really good, and so um, just really, really happy with how Carter performed, and happy to see him kind of have that moment. He tackled very, very, very well. Was very aggressive, um, and he kind of had a chance to display his athleticism. So just very, very pleased and happy to see him kind of have that moment as well. So.
And I want to give an apology to the Moreau family because it seems like every time I call their name for the first time in the contest, I butcher it. So Stephen always seems to have to correct me. So I do apologize. Coach, let's move on to what's coming up. Your final home game of a 3-game homestand at Mustang Memorial Field inside Alex G. Spano Stadium. You're hosting the Nipomo Titans to wrap up a 3-game homestand. How has it been to be inside Spano Stadium for 3 games in a row to build camaraderie with the squad, unity, and pick up a couple wins along the way?
Well, I think the routine has been very positive for us. Just kind of being able to, we're at a new stadium. You want to be able to get into a routine so that when you are at Cal Poly, it's like, okay, this feels like home. So the faster we get into that rhythm, the better. So having three in a row early in the season, very thankful for that. Very happy for that. I think that kind of worked to our advantage a little bit, and um, any game we can play at Cal Poly, we're thankful for. That stadium is so amazing. The atmosphere is amazing, and Cal Poly has been just the most phenomenal hosts. They have been so easy to work with. They're everyone that represents that university has been just beyond first class, and so we continue to be daily thankful and grateful for the opportunity to kind of make this a reality, and they continue to just do amazing things with us, and so we're just very thankful. So I know the kids love playing there. We love coaching there. I know a lot of the fans are really enjoying being a part of it. So, um, we're excited to kind of go on the road too. I think it presents some unique challenges and some challenges that we need to work through as well. So I'm very excited, very happy with where the schedule's at.
Well, Coach, your opponent this Friday night, tomorrow night, because the show is a day late, but not a dollar short. Friday night, September 22nd, kickoff 7 p.m. The Nipomo Titans come to Alex G. Spano Stadium, a 2-2 record after picking up a forfeit win over the San Luis Obispo Tigers. They're coached by Stephen Field in his second season. The Nipomo Titans looking to get their first Mountain League win. They're eager, they're hungry. What's it going to take to pick up the win this week?
Well, got great respect for Coach Field. I think they do a number of really good things, and he clearly knows what he's doing in a number of areas there. I know they're struggling this year, but I also know that we've been in that boat too, and that's a very dangerous team to deal with as their season is progressing. They're starting to make some big progress in some areas. The St. Joe's game, to be honest, you kind of throw that game out because it's just such a a physical mismatch, and it's kind of ridiculous. So, watching their other games, there are a ton of things they do very, very well that are going to challenge us. I think they're very physical at the point of attack. I think their kids are incredibly tough. I think Nipomo kids in general are some of the toughest kids on the Central Coast, and that makes them very, very dangerous to deal with. And then, X's and O's wise, there's a number of things they do very well on both sides of the ball. So, just like every other game, we're going to have to be on point. We're going to have to be very, very purposeful. We got to have great execution. And we got to operate with our 3 goals, for every game. We got to be able to glorify God. We got to outclass our opponent. We got to be the most physical team on the field. So, if we're not able to do those 3 things, it presents a number of problems for us throughout the game. So, excited for an opportunity to continue to display that, and hopefully we do well on the field.
Well, they bring a freshman quarterback Blaine Lowry to the mix, as well as a senior running back Malachi Starr. So it's kind of a mix of both. But Lowry, putting up some yards through the air while picking up some yards on the ground. So it's kind of that their 1-2 combo in the backfield for the offense.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them a little bit in the summer with 7-on-7. We competed against them at Cal Poly, and it was actually a very, very close game. I think we barely won that 7-on-7 at the very end, if I recall correctly. And I remember just being really impressed with the staff. I remember being really impressed with the kids and the kids' effort and their heart. I thought they were doing a number of things really well, and they presented some challenges for us. They stressed our defense in a couple of ways that was unique, and so I just kind of felt like as soon as that 7-on-7 was over, we walked off the field, kind of going like, "Yeah, when we play them, they're probably going to be a problem for us." And so, um, I'm excited to see what this looks like on the field. I think there's some matchups that we can take advantage of. I think there's some things we can do that'll be very much in our favor, but um, you know, failure to execute like any game, will give you a lot of problems. So
Well, you made it this far into the show. Why don't you hit that like and subscribe button on our YouTube channel? And if you're on the X, why don't you give us a follow? I'm Stanley on sports. Coach Schuster is Coach_D Schuster. You can follow Prep Sports Network at the Prep SN. Let me say that again. The Prep SN. And you can follow Mission Prep Football on the X at MCP Football. And that's where you can find all your information for our broadcast, what's going on with the squad, and what's going on with Coach and I. Coach, our next show is going to be next Wednesday, the 27th. And then I'm heading off to Vegas after we record that show. So I won't be in town for the Paso Robles game. But this week, I'm in town. It's going to be Friday night, September 22nd, kickoff 7 p.m. right here on PSNtv. The Nipomo Titans at the Mission Prep Royals inside Alex G. Spano Stadium at Mustang Memorial Field. Coach, any final words before we depart?
nope, excited to compete.
Excited to compete. And I want to remind everybody before we get out of here, homecoming's coming up. So mark your calendar. October 20th, Rigetti Warriors coming to town for homecoming at Alex G. Spano Stadium. So mark your calendars, Royals fans, and we want you there for that one. So there we go, Coach. All in, all done. Sold to the highest bidder. We'll see you tomorrow night at Alex G. Spano Stadium. Thanks for joining us.